Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we're just reading Srimad Bhagavatam to keep ourselves sane after a challenging evening and day. Guess it's good to take shelter of the Bhagavatam. So where are we?
Canto 4, Chapter 9, Text 30.
Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Text 30. Dhruva Maharaj thought to himself, to endeavour to be situated in the shade of the lotus feet of the Lord is not an ordinary task, because even the great brahmacharis, headed by Sanandana, who practice Ashtanga Yoga in trance, attain the shelter of the Lord's lotus feet only after many, many births. Within 6 months I achieved the same result. Yet due to my thinking differently from the Lord, I fell down from my position. Purport. In this verse, Dhruva Maharaj himself explains the cause of his moroseness. First, he laments that to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead directly is not easy. Even great saintly persons like the 4 celebrated brahmacharis headed by
Sanandana.
So I missed my place. Sanandana, Sanaka, Sanatana and Sanatkumar practiced the yoga system for many, many births and remained in trance before getting the opportunity to see the Supreme Lord face to face. As far as Dhruva Maharaj was concerned, he saw the Supreme Lord personally after only 6 months of practice in devotional service. He expected, therefore, that as soon as he met the Supreme Lord, the Lord would take him to his abode immediately without waiting. Dhruva Maharaj could understand very clearly that the Lord had offered him the rule of the world for 36,000 years, because in the beginning he was under the spell of the material energy and wanted to take revenge against his stepmother and rule over his father's kingdom. Dhruva Maharaj greatly lamented his propensity for ruling the material world and his revengeful attitude towards other living entities. So it seems Dhruva is still in that lamentful mood, because it's like revenge or vengeance, as it were, that he set out to seek the Lord after being instructed to do so. And then obviously when you come face to face with Krishna and you're purified and you see things for what they are, then we start to feel ashamed or bad. Like when Prabhupada, if you maybe, I don't know if it's in the video because I find it quite hard to see the video of Srila Prabhupada's final years when he's departing, but I've read autobiographies of his disciples where they describe it, and he's going around being very meek and childlike and humble. I mean, he's lying on his bed, leaving his body, but he's in that mood and he's asking for forgiveness and I'm sorry, and I was harsh and I was rude and I was too, pulling people up too much. And yeah, it was interesting that there's some commentary on that. But that's his sign of advancement, that he's so humble and at the end he's getting such deep realizations, and that if someone looked at him and said, oh, see, yeah, he was wrong, yeah, he was rude, or he was outspoken, see, he's admitting it, but it isn't like that you see it, So in the same way for Dhruva, he's seen and attained perfection almost. Yeah, not all has, and he himself says he achieved it much quicker after 6 months, not like all these yogis have to do it in birth, and he's feeling the intensity, like, gosh, what was I thinking, what was I doing? And he's like, he's just feeling very humbled and
remorseful.
Yeah, remorseful.
Okay. 931. Very powerful realizations and insights. 931. Alas, just look at me. I'm so unfortunate. I approach the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can immediately cut the chain of the repetition of birth and death, but still, out of my foolishness, I prayed for things which are perishable. Purport. The word anatmyam is very significant in this verse. Atma means the soul, and anatmya means without any conception of the soul. Srila Rishabhdev instructed his sons that unless a human being comes to the point of understanding the Atma, or spiritual position, whatever he does is ignorance, and this brings only defeat in his life. Dhruva Maharaj regrets his unfortunate position, for although he approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always able to give his devotee the highest benediction of cessation of the repetition of birth and death, which is impossible for any demigod to offer, he foolishly wanted something perishable. When Hiranyakashipu asked immortality from Lord Brahma expressed his inability to offer such a benediction because he himself is not immortal. Therefore, immortality or complete cessation of the chain of repeated birth and death can be offered by the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, not by others. Harim vina na mritim taranti. It is said that without the blessings of Hari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no one can stop the continuous chain of birth and death within this material world. Therefore, the Supreme Lord is also called Bhava Chit. The Vaishnava philosophy in the process of Krishna consciousness prohibits the devotee from all kinds of material aspirations. A Vaishnava devotee should always be anyabilashita shunyam, free from all material aspirations for the results of fruitive activities or empiric philosophical speculation. Dhruva Maharaj was actually initiated by Narada Muni, the greatest Vaishnava, in the chanting of Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This mantra is a Vishnu mantra, for by practicing the chanting of this mantra, one is elevated to the Vishnu Loka. Dhruva Maharaj regrets that although he was initiated in the Vishnu mantra by a Vaishnava, he still aspired for material benefits. That was another cause for lamentation. Although he got the result of the Vishnu mantra by the causeless mercy of the Lord, he lamented how foolish he was to have strived for material benefits while practicing devotional service. In other words, every one of us who is engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness should be completely free from all material aspirations. Otherwise, we will have to lament like Dhruva Maharaj. Yeah, just small request. So to be completely free from all material aspirations. And Srila Prabhupada was stressing on this verse, Anyabilashita shunyam jnana karmadyanavritam anakuyena krishnanushilanam bhaktirutama, from Nectar of Devotion, that Anyabilashita shunyam, that we should follow in the footsteps of the Lord, trying to serve the Lord favorably, and free from jnana karma and adi, other like yoga or mystic yoga or different things like that. So to become free completely from material aspirations is not an easy thing, because we're in the material world, we're in a material body, and we're materially conditioned. So the likelihood is that we're going to have some material aspirations. But the idea is to become steadily, slow and steadily, free from these things. Now, that does not mean that we may not still need to have apparently material items or acquisitions in our life in order to keep us alive. You could say, well, food's material, sleep's material, clothing's material, oxygen is material, all of these things. But all of these things, if being utilized in our lives for the purpose of keeping body and soul together so that we can serve Krishna to the best of our ability, is actually not material. It is spiritual because it's being connected with its original point and purpose. Something is generally material when it is disconnected from Krishna and utilized of its own accord simply for one's own sense gratification or self-aggrandizement, like that.
Okay.
Should we call it a day? We're going to call it a day and call it a night. Short session today. But good food for thought. Thank you very much for joining in. Please read the Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.